Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred, and today I'm going to be doing a quick review or introduction to polynomials. And I think this word, you really need to know what this word and some definitions mean if you're going to make this unit kind of something that's actually easy for you to understand. And I hope that when you're doing the problems, you're going to ask yourself, okay, let me think about those definitions that we went over in the beginning. So I think it's important for us to identify what a monomial is so that we can figure out what a polynomial is. So mono means one and poly means many. But we also need one piece of language that I'm hoping that you have in your in your toolkit right now, which is a constant. So a constant is just a number. So anytime we're thinking of just any random number, here I'll get a pen, 2 or 6, those are called constants because they're not changing. They're not attached to a variable. But once you put a variable with them, you are now working with something called a monomial. So a monomial is just a constant, a variable, or both together. So a monomial could be the numbers -7. A monomial could be 4x. A monomial could be 6xy. But notice there's no addition and subtraction in them. They're just expressions either made up of a constant, a variable, or a constant and a few variables. The degree of the monomial is important for us to understand too. So the degree would be the highest exponent of your variable. So here, like we would say that's a degree 1, okay? You might not realize this. This is actually what we call a degree 0 because there's an x there to the 0 power, but we know that that means 1. So we don't write x to the 0 power because that would actually kind of be hidden because -7 times 1 is -7. So the degree is the highest power we raise it to. So a polynomial, that's something that we really want to think about, okay? A polynomial is, the actual definition is a monomial or the sum difference of monomials. So something like, 2x plus 5, that's a polynomial. 3x squared plus 2x plus 5, that's a polynomial. Noticing that you have a monomial and a monomial, but now we've added this operation of addition and subtraction. Okay, so the degree of the polynomial is the highest degree you see. Okay, as long as it's addition and subtraction. So in this case, like this one here, this would be a degree 2 polynomial. This one has the highest degree is a 1, or exponent is a 1. So that would be a degree 1 polynomial. They can be a degree 3, a degree 4. Okay. Now, in a monomial or a polynomial, each monomial represents a term, okay? So that word we're going to use a lot. I'll say to you, how many terms does it have? So, is the number of monomials. All right, so 2x plus 5 has 2 terms. This is a term, and this is a term. 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 is 3 terms. This is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. All right, if we're going to look at standard form of a polynomial, it means that we have to go in descending order by exponent. So standard form is something where you go descending order by exponent. So you can see here I've got ax squared plus bx plus c. So c is the constant. The value in front of b, that b is a constant and a is a constant. But you can see I went from x squared to x to the 1 to the constant, which would really be x to the 0 if you're thinking about it. But if I gave you a degree, 5, ax to the 5th plus bx to the 4th plus cx to the 3rd, and so on. So standard form is descending order by exponent. I think I have that backwards of where I wrote it, definition and example. Okay, the leading coefficient. So once you've put your polynomial in standard form, the leading coefficient is the number, the constant in front of the leading term. So constant in front of the leading term. All right, so if I have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, this is the leading term, the first term. The leading coefficient would be 2. So a coefficient is going to be a constant or a number. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit about what monomials and polynomials are. But then there's a couple, we make it even more confusing. There's a couple of polynomials that we're going to actually have names for. So instead of calling them polynomials, we're going to call them, these are the two big ones, binomials. See the word bi, and trinomials. So these you're going to be using a lot in Algebra 1. So bi means 2, tri means 3. So a binomial would be like, I don't know, x plus 5y, 3x plus 2. X squared minus 7. You can see they have two terms. Trinomial is going to have 3 terms. Okay? So, I don't know, x squared plus 3x plus 5. X cubed plus 2x squared plus x. X squared plus 3x minus 7. So you can see there are 3 distinct terms. So we call them trinomials. Again, 2 distinct terms, we call them binomials. Okay, so that's just kind of a review of like Coach Fred's definitions that you're going to really need. But it would be important that you actually really like identify when you see a binomial. Say to yourself, oh, okay, that's a binomial. Trinomial. Okay, that's a trinomial. Don't just look at them and get used to doing something with them. Get used to naming them as well, right? Just like you wouldn't walk by friends and say, hey there. You'd say, hey Lily, or hey Jenny, or hey Mark. So make sure when you're looking at math problems as we move on that you actually look at it and give it a name, okay? And use the right name. All right, have a great day.